Hey everybody, welcome to another corner conversation on the book of First Peter.
I was
And
like, it's Peter. We're
it
talking
is.
about
We're
Peter.
talking about Peter, yeah. It's the day that we switch over to Second Peter. Someone's gonna say First Peter
Oh, absolutely.
because we've
We're
been,
gonna be stuck for a little bit.
but
So,
it's Rich and Rachel here today
yep.
because end of summer, everyone's gone.
Yeah. It's hard to squeeze a whole summer into August,
It is,
but we try to do it really well.
especially when August is, and I don't know if you guys feel this way, but August is the shortest month of the year.
Oh, it goes so
This
fast.
year, January was 5 months, and
Yeah,
August was 5 days.
I
So
know. And I like the kids go back to school on Tuesday, so I'm trying to protect this these last few minutes,
mhm.
and I just feel like people are like, do you feel ready? And I'm like, no. And some parents are like, I need another week, and I'm like, I need a month, like
Yeah.
a whole month, because this summer feels it
Ugh.
was busy. And I think we even started it trying to not be busy. Like we kept
Yeah,
saying,
at the beginning,
let's not make this crazy.
it looked like we would succeed.
I don't know. It
We
was
did not.
church work, it was coffee shop. You guys took a lot of coffee shop stuff on. For me, it was like the neighborhood stuff was
For
whoo,
a while there,
exploded.
it was like 2 weeks on, 1 week gone for me.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
work, but it was
But it's
work
a
away
lot
from the
of,
city.
yeah,
So
it's still like then you come back. It doesn't make the work here go away.
no.
Like you still come back with a list of things. But you did state fair stuff this week.
Did. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was one of the few days that there wasn't a storm.
Yeah, you
So that
made
was
it.
fun.
Nice job. Nice job. You did it. You didn't get struck by lightning or
Did get
anything.
there
That's
early.
good.
We fit that one in to the short August. So
Yeah. See,
good.
I went up north and that was good. Fit that into short August. And then, yeah, so that lightning storm, there was a house in our neighborhood that got hit by lightning.
Mm.
And I tried to find it, so it could just be rumors I mean, the house definitely got hit,
Yeah.
but it was a house fire and somebody said it was a total loss. And I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. So I'm like, was it a total loss? But sometimes house fires are so weird.
Yesterday?
No, it was last week, kind of towards the beginning of the week. House fires are weird because you can't always see it on the outside.
Yeah.
It's all interior. So
Yesterday, the storm that came through, Michael Imholt and I were installing a storm door on
yeah.
the back of the duplex that I'm in. And we would look and go, okay, it says 15 minutes till rain comes. And because the front was coming through, and we got the door closed right as the rain came. And then we looked at it and went, well, the storm door's working. Didn't have water coming in. So
There
that's
you
good.
go. That's a win. I
Yeah.
love that. That was like as you're preparing. That feels like Wizard of Oz when there's a tornado and she's like, Dorothy, Dorothy, like trying to get everybody in the
True. That is
I
kind of what
mean,
it felt like.
not quite because it was a rainstorm, but
Michael Imholt was not wearing blue gingham. So
okay.
it wasn't quite that way like Dorothy
Yeah.
was. But
Does he normally wear blue gingham? Is
no,
that
I
like,
don't know if you normally listen to the podcast either, so that's fine.
well, there you go. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, we should probably talk about Peter.
Peter.
I mean, Peter, I think
Are
it's
you gonna
on here.
try to do a good transition
No, there
here?
is a good transition
Oh, okay.
because we're talking about Peter's failings a little bit.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
then being entrusted and reinstated by Jesus. And one of his failings was in the middle of a storm.
Yep.
He was walking on water and then he started to be afraid.
Yeah.
Right?
Which I gotta tell you,
The storms that we've
me
had
too.
have had
Yeah.
some of those.
No, so we were on the North Shore at Lake Superior, and the kids were having fun, like getting in the water and stuff and getting splashed. But like, I have to tell you, one of those days with the big storms that were happening, I was like, I thought about that story because I thought, like, this is minor compared to the storm that they were experiencing when Jesus was sleeping on the boat and they were all freaking out. But I was just like, I would have freaked out. I for
Yeah.
sure would have freaked out. So I
I-
feel like Peter a lot sometimes.
Yes, I probably would
Yeah.
have sunk as well.
I think one thing that sticks out to me with Peter, like as a human, as a person in story form, is he takes like one step forward, two steps back sometimes, like, or two steps forward, one step back. Like I feel like he's constantly going, trying to do what Jesus tells him to do, trying to live the way, and then he blows it.
Mhm.
And like sometimes he blows it kind of big. Like with, the whole denying Jesus 3 times. And after he promises he's going to be so loyal and he would never, ever do that. And then all of a sudden he does exactly what he promises he wasn't going to do.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like that a lot. Like I feel like I have these ideologies of how I want life to go, and then reality hits and I don't do that. Like I am really like, I want collaboration. I want us to work together. I want, like in church world, I want that. And then it's super easy for me to like try to like grasp it all and hold it in. And like I feel like it's just internally these things that I want to see happen and I want to be. And then what really happens is the opposite. My humanity hits.
I think so. Breakfast is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And some of the best foods are made at breakfast.
Yeah.
And I think we have to remember that breakfast is not only important because it's a meal to break the fast or whatever, but in Jesus' time, for Peter, breakfast was important because he denied Jesus. And the next thing he got to do was show up on the shore after fishing all night.
Yeah.
And there's Jesus with breakfast.
With
right?
breakfast.
So
yep.
as I'm reading through this, I'm just like, it's good for us to remember that there are those moments where we're gonna suck. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
And breakfast is coming.
Yeah.
Like there's
I
always
love
that
how
time.
you talk in stories.
There's always that time that
so engaging.
it's just gonna be better.
Yeah.
And I mean, Peter didn't really like the conversation.
No,
that
but
spot
like,
where it was like failure. Oh, we get to eat with Jesus. And he's eating, and then
Mhm.
Jesus asks him, hey, do you love me?
I love
Right?
this. I know.
And
I
he's
love
like, yeah. But
Yeah.
then Jesus keeps asking him.
Yeah. I imagine Peter as emotional as I am. And every time he's like, I do love you. I promise. I love you. And I feel like that shame piece that I think Peter probably, I would assume Peter experienced in that moment. I mean, he even talks about it in First Peter. Where is that? Well, one of the scriptures we were reading today, we highlighted this little section. It's like, if you suffer as a Christian, don't be ashamed, but praise God that you bear that name. And I mean, it's different, but it's still talking about shame a little bit. And I think I'd say Peter probably experienced some shame in that moment and like wanting to quit, wanting to go back to being a fisherman, wanting to just be like, almost forget, like, like when you're overwhelmed by something and you're like, I think I'm going to watch a TV show today and I'm just going to maybe watch another TV show for the next 5 hours and maybe tomorrow I'll watch a show too. And it's like you're kind of tuning out of reality.
Peter wanted to be by himself.
Peter wanted to be by himself on a boat and fishing, and he didn't want anybody to be about it. He didn't want, like, I feel like in that moment too, like you're so ashamed. You're like, I can't be forgiven. I don't even want it. Just like, leave me alone. I screwed this up. And it's just like, Jesus reinstates him. He forgives him. He's like, you screwed up. Yes, but you're still a fisher of people. Like you're still called to bring people in connection to God. Like there is not you can't run. Sorry, Peter.
I'm just imagining this moment, like, Peter, do you love me? Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, Peter, do you love me? Like,
yeah.
And because his command earlier was, this is how they'll know. Like, love me, like, and I love people like I like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's where, oh, you love me. Okay, cool. Sure, denial, whatever. Like, you still have a mission to do. You still have something to go out, like, and I mean, I want to go out on a boat and be by myself.
Yeah, I want to tune out. I want to pretend.
Peter, like, you still love me, which means you are still entrusted to go and do this. And I think one thing that is so important for all of us, and you mentioned like the shame piece, well, I did this bad thing, I must not be a good Christian, done. Like, I think that is so damaging.
I'm out.
It's so like, but it's just so like, and when you think about it, I love looking back at Peter in the,
I know, me too.
In the, okay, I believe in Jesus now, I must be perfect. Like, okay, let's go back and read about the guy, like one of the first guys to hang out with Jesus. In the moment that he understood and he believed, did he become perfect? No, he chopped a guy's ear off a little bit later. Right? It's like he denied Jesus. He told Jesus that, no, you can't die. Jesus
Yeah.
called him Satan. Like,
Yeah,
so I just think that it's
I
so
know.
encouraging
I
to
agree.
go, we still have a mission even when we suck.
Yeah, yeah.
And it goes back to how many series ago now did we do First John?
Oh, yeah.
Where it goes back and it says, when you sin, just remember,
Mhm.
you know?
You have an advocate.
Yeah, you have an advocate.
Yeah. I like a story of redemption,
Mhm.
but I like not like, I think Peter is not just one redemption story. It's over and over again.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, I think in like, I think because we're married, we think in marriage relationship a lot of times. And I think like in marriage, it's easy for me to be a really good spouse for a few days, and it's really easy for me to blow it, and like, not just like overtly blow it, like I'm yelling at my husband and I look terrible, but I'm not maybe being the 100%, I'm not like, the house is a mess, or I'm not really taking on all the responsibilities I should, or I'm letting him do some things because I'm tired. It's really easy to think about me, like to be kind of in this self-absorbed state. And like, if every time I'm selfish it was like, well, sorry, I'm out, like, marriage wouldn't last.
How would you feel if after that you sat down and Mike just went, Rachel,
Do you love me?
you love me?
I do, and I'm sorry.
Well,
Or of course I do. Yeah. I like how you and I see this moment with Peter. It's so different. Like, yours is like a little happy dopey Peter. Like, of course I love you. And I'm like,
I think the first one is like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. And the
Yeah.
second one's like,
yeah.
Jesus, you know this. And the third one's like, yes.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
No, I see Jesus as being a little bit more.
Lovey dopey. I think when the last questions in this is like, one of the main point of Sunday, not the main point, but one of the points, like, we're talking about Peter, we're talking about shame, we're talking about how he's been reinstated, but like, in all this, Jesus trusts Peter to like pursue God's mission, pursue Jesus' mission, to connect people to God. And he trusts him, even though he keeps screwing this up over and over again. Like, it's not a one-time thing that Peter messes up. He does it over and over again. And I think I feel that, right? Like, I feel like it's so easy for me to go, yep, I messed up again. I didn't treat this person the way I was supposed to again, or I blew it over here again. And like, I don't trust me, like, yeah, I'm gonna get teary on the thing. It's fine. We'll go to the questions again, but like, but the last question we have is, what is God entrusting you to? And I think it's really easy to think we don't have what it takes. We are gonna blow it. We're not gonna live up to his expectations. Like, there's this list that we're gonna be shamed. We're gonna do it all wrong. And he still trusts us. He still gives us work to do. He still entrusts us to something. And how do we look at that and go, okay, what is God entrusting me to do?
And I think that's
Oof.
like, he's not shocked.
No.
The moment that we're shocked because
Yeah.
we did something stupid,
Yeah. He's
he
not
knows.
shocked.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the question right above that is, what does it take for a person to rise above their failures and their issues and grow? And part of that is going, yep, I did mess up.
Yep.
Okay, that's part one. Now I want to be better.
Yep.
Okay, that's part two, walking towards Jesus again,
Yeah.
So I think it's,
And part 3 is, you're probably going to mess up again.
oh, yeah.
And you're going to have to walk like, it's, how do you
And when you mess
grow?
up,
You
it's
just
Jesus.
keep trying. Yeah. Like, I think there's these two places where we can land as Christians. We can either work really, really hard to avoid sin, and then like basically not live life, because you can't live life and not sin. Like, it's going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on how you define
I would
sin.
say you can't take yourself out of it and avoid sin.
I
You just
agree.
can't avoid sin.
You can't, but like, it can look different to different people.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I agree. You can't avoid sin. And yeah, it's inevitable. But I think in living life, you're gonna, okay, somebody, it was Kim and I were talking about, how we don't grow outside of relationship. Like, in relationship with Rich, if Rich makes me really mad one day, I'm just so mad at Rich all the time. I'm not. But if Rich made me mad one day and I was like, I'm out, like, there is no growth in that. Like, we have to work through it. We have to process. I have to figure out why what Rich did made me so mad. Like, I'm not going to grow without this relationship. I'm not going to grow without my relationship with my friends. And like, there just is so much growth in relationship, in community, and half of it is messy. Yeah.
Yeah, God affects relationship in humans.
Mhm.
And if we just sit by ourselves and go, okay, God, change me, it's not going to happen
No.
because how he does it is through other humans.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Hands and feet time.
Yeah. So it's messy. It's gonna stay messy.
But I think that what is God entrusting you to?
Yeah.
You know, if you love me, feed my sheep.
Yeah.
If you love me, care for my people. Or Matthew 28, a little bit after this conversation,
Mhm.
as you're going about your day, make disciples,
Yeah.
which is feeding his sheep and
Liking
caring
his
for
people. Yeah. I like
because
it.
people.
Because people. Any wrap up ideas here?
That was it. Those
You
two-
did it all because people.
Best thing in the world, short story for a wrap up. Speaking at Trout, I asked that question so like the one section where I went through what we do at Corner and why we do it, because people. And
Mhm.
by the end, I would have a conversation with the camper and they would say, why is this so hard? And it's like, well, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, because people. And I'm like,
Yeah. I like it. You're
Yeah.
training up a whole new
Oh, that's
generation
that's
and
great. They understand that people are important,
yeah,
but
that's
that's
great.
what we got.
I love it.
See y'all next time.
Yep. Sorry. Stop recording.
Stop recording.
I'm still recording. Sorry.